So yeah, cliffs, rocks, mushrooms, an awesome spot, a drum, some music, the sunset, quite a few people about, and all kinds of stuff. I mean, the experience in itself, wow, for a start, but whoa, for a second, and then what for a third. www.what. Anyway, but I guess the thing that is relevant was the vision of immanence within the psychedelic realm, how the plethora is darkened. And so a lot of work and thought recently regarding the seven rays, which is best exemplified in the rainbow image, light diffraction, diffused light, seven rays, and they constitute matter originally. Anyway, to do with the vision and how things are, and the darkness, and this kind of overwhelming, overbearing, grappling for control. It seems that in the higher levels of the matrix, of the astral plane, of the hyperspace reality, there's a huge war, a huge battle for control of our souls as embodied spirits. Now, when you look at the solar system, first of all, when you get beyond Pluto, you've got the Kuiper Belt, which is a load of rocks and asteroids all around. And then beyond that is the Oort cloud. And so around our solar system, there's all these giant rocks and bodies and whatever they are surrounding the sun from a great distance. And so we're totally surrounded. If we want to leave the solar system, if we have the technology, and it's straight line technology, not kind of jump technology, then we have to go past these blockages which are there. Recently, in a vision, they appeared as the evil ones who are surrounding us and suppressing us. And so all matter has consciousness, as consciousness is a prerequisite for existence in the material plane. There's no kind of existence in materiality without a spiritual imperative that directs the germination of the growth. So yeah, this story about humans being spirit that's been coaxed into material body and then trapped, imprisoned in chains of the dark ones. And so not only is our planet, our solar system, surrounded by these kind of evil forces, also on our planet and around our planet we have more localized control in anything you care to mention, which you've already recognized, and more. And so when we look out with our eye, it's not as it should be. It's not as it should be. That's the problem, you know. And everything's quite abrupt and chaotic at the minute, where we've got this struggle between the forces that want to control things and the forces that want to explore things and be at peace. You've got the all bar one versus the one and all. All bar one versus the one and all. That's kind of the drama that's being played out here. It's whether or not people want to exist with or without a connection to God, spirit, divinity. So the peacock's feathers, a million eyes, all expand from the locum of awareness. And so the spirit, which is beyond space and time, somehow creates this kind of web of experience that we perceive and intuit. And somehow we have abilities which enable us to align with energies and create. If you draw a Merkaba in your mind and then stick your arms out with your elbows bent going down and do that sort of thing, and then get to the hourglass where sand's flowing through the hourglass, that's kind of like our vessel, where the sands of time are flowing through us and promulgating causeless action, just intransient flowing. And so within our heart we have the art to transmute the flow into a beautiful pleroma. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of motherfuckers who, for whatever reason, want to try and fuck shit up and make it all about them and regain control and all that kind of bollocks. And so when we're looking into like this psychedelic realm, the astral hyper sort of spaces, we're getting a lot of darkness and a lot of negativity and a lot of kind of like triangles. There's this triangle thing, so right at the center of the matrix of creation, there's kind of this triangle pyramid which is on top of all the energy and directs the flow of the energy. And if we get triangulated, we're within that matrix. Therefore, kind of the way out of the matrix is to remain away from the gaze of the triangle and I guess in our hearts and creating and putting forth. I guess if we're drawing in, then we're drawing in foreign, unholy. If we're drawing it in, it can be unholy. If we're putting it out, it comes from our own divinity. But yeah, back to this kind of darkness issue and how things should be. And then it is kind of a war zone at the minute. And so there has to be a stable, safe passage through this tumultuous period, like a soul capsule, which is a great thing, capsule, to encapsulate, so to remain encapsulated without taking on unwarranted influence, but as long as we're just encapsulated, then there's always going to be this unwarranted influence. And so somehow we do need to clean up the matrix in order to allow the natural, pure energies to flourish. Because the whole thing's been hijacked in one way or another, and there's all kinds of different dimensional, intraterrestrial, extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, all kinds of different life forms focusing on this rock in the Milky Way galaxy, on the outer arm of a spiral. Because the humans that were here have been chained in fetters, and when they released their bonds, they were meant to rule the universes, the galaxies. They were meant to be, you know, right up in the highest levels, roaming around as they wish, and keeping guard and keeping a lookout for the evil, which has obviously supplanted the humans and tried to enslave them, as people are currently trying to be enslaved. Put your hands up if you willingly walked into a trap that would lead to your eventual enslavement. Hello, yeah, I've done that. I think we've all done that. Not a good move, but then at the same time, if nobody's kind of courageous or open enough to put these things out there, then how are people supposed to know, you know? How are we supposed to get by all this without going, look, bro, that girl's only in front of you because she wants you to follow her, because if you follow her and go with her, you'll end up in a trap. You're meant to be keeping a lookout for these kind of people and warning when these sort of situations are going off. That's the point. That's the crux of it. You know, and when we can take responsibility for our role in the web and the purpose of our existence, then I guess the keys to the universe shall be granted once we've come to terms with the heart of the matter. It needs discussion, you know. I'm making this sound foul because I don't have anyone that I can go to and say, look, this and this happened, what do you think? So I'll make this, and then it will come back, and then we'll get to the next level, which is what it's all about. But yeah, we do have these fantastic abilities, you know, like the psychedelic experience is real, and when we go into that realm with a bit of confidence and, I guess, integrity and stability, you know, you need to be firm in yourself, and it really does help if you've got friends or good music or a positive environment lifting you up and putting you forward, and that way you've got the power to transform negatives into positives. You've got the power to turn the darkness into light. You've got the power to raise new planes that enable a great journey. All of these things are kind of within us, waiting to be activated and actualized. And so, aliens, devils, fairies, ancients, wow. You know, there's so much. What I discovered most recently was that the natural environment is, in its own way, a up-to-the-minute portal for information. So the same way as you go on the web and look shit up really quickly and flip from one screen to another, you can do that in nature. Nature's got it all right there if you're with it. If you're with nature in your heart, then nature will show you everything you need to know. I guess that's our way through the dark night of the coming Aquarian age. Or whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, I don't know from one minute to the next what the best actions are, but by holding firm and allowing yourself for time, for right actions, appendages, abstractions, intuitions, movements, and so forth arise.